Welcome back, my fellow aggressive learners. In this episode, I will be introducing you to what we call ID and Classes Selector in CSS. Like you all know, I would always want to start afresh to ensure clarity and to ensure that I'm not trying to cheat you. Right, so I have also deleted all codes here, so I believe you can actually generate this HTML yourself. All right, we have our CSS and we have it called here. So let's go ahead and do some basic acrobatics. So in case you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do well, go to my YouTube channel, hit on the subscribe button, and then hit on the all notification button. So if I update new courses, you can see them, because I'm going to do very wonderful course in the future that will be helpful to your career. I don't know what you're up to, but however, let's get started. So I'm going to define a H1 element, all right, and I'm going to say I am what Mr. Red color, and I am going to define what a div tag. All right, so inside this div tag I want to define a strong element. Let's say strong. Yes, let me use strong. Let me call it published on. All right, and then inside that, after the published tag, I want to use an emphasis tag, or I can even use italic tag, published on 0209, sorry, 09 2022. Yep, 2022, or let's say 2023. It's okay, 2023. It's so, and then also just after this, right, I'm going to do a p tag, and in that p tag I want to generate, sorry please, let me quickly open my tag so you'll be seeing the result of what we're doing. Good. So I want to generate lorem 50. I think 50 is okay. Good. So that settles it. So now I have this. Let's quickly understand what ID selector and the CSS and class selectors are. Remember, I'm not coming to teach you all this. We've done it in HTML. In case you don't know anything about what H1 p tag is, please go back to my HTML masterclass and then take care of yourself in that classes. And then here I'm going to define ID title, or I will define ID heading, whichever one that suits you. All right, so I'm going to define ID heading, and in this place I'm going to define another ID. All right, I can choose to use ID, I can choose to use classes, but first of all, let's understand what class is. So subheading, right? So these are the two things I'm going to use ID for. Now I'm going to go to my style. Let me quickly do this. This is how we leave, this is how we do comments in 6 2 6 5 3 4. This is how we do comment in CSS. So we'll just do something like this. I'm going to do ID selector. Sorry about the little distraction. So sorry about that. So let me to define a selector, the subheading, the heading selector. So I'm going to do hash. Sorry, please. I'm going to do hash. All right. 0 6 2 6. I'm going to do hash title, and I am going to do color red. So sorry about these instructions, please. Sorry. So now that, sorry, I didn't call it title, we called it heading. I hate distractions. Okay, good. So the next thing we want to look at is what? Subheading. This is how you, in CSS, the ID selector, you normally start your ID selector with an hashtag. All right, you would normally start your ID selector with what? With an hashtag. Now let's give this guy a color of what? A color of okay, let's take this aquarium, just playing around, and then let's give it font style. font style of what? Of italic. Font style of italic. All right, just for fun, so now the next thing, this is how you define a ID selector in classes. Now let's define class selectors. All right, so I can do class. All right, so class selector, you give it an attribute of class and then give it the name of the class, contents. So I'm going to do if I want to do selector, so let me give a comment, class selector. All right, so class selector, what is the name of the class? It's going to start with a dot and then the name of the class, content. All right, so content, what do? I can give it a background color gray. All right, I can give it a font size 25 pixel, because my people, they don't. All right, good, 25 pixels. Now that is it. Right, that is it. Now there is something I want you to notice. Let's say I'm going to define this one to be red, to be remember, I'm going to give these letters a color. All right, let me give it a color so that you see. So the letter, I want the color to be what? To be blue. Content, what did I just do? Okay, good. So I want this content to be blue. Now watch, I am going to bring ID here so that you see what will happen. It will override this color, and this color, because this heading, I'm going to introduce this heading. This red will override this blue. Watch what will happen now, to show you the power that what an ID has. ID heading. Watch what happens. That means this one become unimportant in the presence of this one. It doesn't mean that both of them cannot coexist. Both of them can coexist on the same as an attribute. All right, in the same element, both of them can coexist and you can define them. But just always know that whenever you define same thing here and same thing here, this whatever that is here is going to override what is in class, because ID has higher precedence. ID selector has what? Higher precedence than what? Class selectors. So this is, sorry please, this is what? Class selector, and this is ID selector. It will always have what? Higher precedence. All right, it will always have higher precedence. Now remember, we talked about order of arrangement. Let's say carry this thing and come here, carry this H1 and come down. Remember, we discussed this when we're talking about precedence, and notice nothing happened. It shows that ID is very powerful. ID selectors are very, very powerful. All right, they are very, very powerful. Now in the same way, the content are powerful, but in the order of precedence, ID are more specific. They are higher in specificity than what? Than content. All right, so anytime you define an ID, always know that it is going to target that particular element. It is going to target that particular element. So I think on that note, I want to introduce you to how we can define more classes. Let's say I want to add a class here, uppercase. All right, uppercase. So I can, that means I can have two class definition inside a class attribute. So let me do class. I can define it. Watch what happens. So I'm going to do dot uppercase, and then I'm going to do text transform uppercase. All right, now watch what happens. As beautiful as this is, so now I don't want this ID, please. I don't want it. But at least you have seen that it is possible to have two ID in one location. All right, now you can even come here and define class, and then you can put uppercase. Watch what happened. You can even still come here and define class and put uppercase and see what happened. You didn't put content, but you put uppercase, and look at the way it transforms it. That means anywhere you have class, you can actually change your stuff. Now you can even write a fresh stuff that defines the background, right? So that's how we work with what ID selectors and what ID selectors and class selectors in CSS. I hopefully you understand the gist, and I believe as we continue moving, it will get more clearer and more better, and then we'll all be in a better place. Please head back to this place, ensure you do this, and then see you in the next class. Thank you.